Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Patrick, and today we are going through my everyday carry. I'm gonna be showing you the things I bring with me every single day just to get stuff done. Let's get into it. So when we begin to talk about everything that we're taking with us throughout the day, we're obviously not holding those items in our hands. We have to have a bag of some sort. And this YouTube channel is not afraid to talk about backpacks. I think this is the 5th or 6th or 9th time that I've talked about a backpack on this channel, and I've claimed multiple times that this is the last backpack I'll ever buy, and I'm making that claim again. Now, we've talked about this bag before, but this is the Lowepro Fastpack Pro BP 250 AW3. Remember that, right? Link in the description. This is the best backpack for me. Now, why? So for a creator, when you're looking for a bag, you want it to hold your gear, but you also want it just to kind of hold your knickknacks as well. And you find yourself with kind of like two lanes you can run in when looking for a backpack. There's the backpack that's kind of like, I call it the back to school backpack. Laptop sleeve, a few pockets, and then there's a hard right to this other lane where like you have these massive gear bags where to get to one compartment, you basically have to open up the entire thing. And it's overkill. Not if you're on a film shoot, you know, don't get me wrong, but it's just overkill if you're looking for something to carry every single day. And this is the only bag I've found that really marries those two worlds and has kind of a professional but consumer, a prosumer, if you will, feel to it. You see, at the top of this backpack, you have kind of like a regular backpack. You have the laptop sleeve, you have the pockets, and then in the bottom you have tons of gear compartments that are made to protect your cameras, your lenses, your drones, things like that. So I want to dig into this backpack and show you how it works, but I also want to just show you what I'm carrying with me every single day just to get stuff done. So let's get into this thing. On the back of this backpack, is this the front or the back? I'm saying back. On the back of this backpack, you have this big sleeve compartment for laptops, iPads, whatever. And I'm really happy to say you can actually carry both a laptop and an iPad in this compartment. So here I have my 16-inch M1 MacBook Pro. And I also have, oh, let me put that strap. I also have my iPad. So in this sleeve here, along with all this other gear, you have the ability to carry a couple of different devices. So if you're walking around with a couple of laptops, a couple of MacBook Airs, if you're walking around with a couple of iPads or a computer and an iPad, you're gonna be good to go with this sleeve. So I always carry these two items with me. Obviously, the laptop, obviously for work, for editing, carry the iPad around for to be used as a teleprompter. Sometimes I'm reading or even just using it to, you know, fiddle around on the internet, whatever. Got this great handle on the backpack. The straps are really good. The only problem I've ever had with this backpack is with the straps, but they were able to fix the problem for me right away. You'll also notice on the front of this backpack, there are these little straps that you can attach gear to. Sometimes I actually have my GoPro here all the time, so that if I'm walking around and I want to film something, I can just quickly remove the GoPro, begin filming. I don't have to dig around for it in my bag. There's this top compartment here on the bag, which I love. I'm going to get to in a second. First, I'm just going to flip the bag all the way around. And you'll notice that on the front of this bag, there are two zippered pockets. Let's see what we got in here. Now, this is where I keep, oh, this is hilarious. This is where I keep all of my rewards cards, like, you know, the 10th coffee is free kind of cards. But I have a very bad habit of never remembering to show them a current card and only getting one punch at a time on individual cards. Please don't judge me. Please don't at me. So I've got all of my individual like rewards cards. I also have my business cards for my tech business ready to hand out at any time. I Help with Tech is a little business I have where I do IT support. It's been really good to me in the city. So I keep all those cards right here in this pocket. I also have a mini SD to standard SD adapter here. And then I have basically hundreds of guitar picks because I always lose guitar picks. And I also actually really like to use fresh guitar picks. So I always have just a treasure trove of them right here in the front, in this front zipper. That's all you're gonna find in there. Then there's another zipper here. It doesn't carry a lot of things, but it carries two very important things. Number one, Thunderbolt cable, USB-C. And then in here, you're gonna find 2 Samsung SSDs. This is the T5. This is for my job, my full-time job, where I do a lot of video editing, a lot of music. And this is my personal, where I basically every single YouTube video you see on this channel is edited from this little Samsung T7. They're both a terabyte, and I believe this one is a little faster. It's a newer model. So I have my SSDs right here in the backpack. Very easy to access. There are also a couple of more pockets in here, but I only use this one for those 2 SSDs. And it does have this like plush inside, so if you had something sensitive like glasses or something that you didn't want to get scratched, like your phone, you could just put it right in there and it's not going to get scratched at all. Nothing's going to bother it. Really soft plush pocket there. Then I have this main compartment of the backpack. So obviously I've opened this up and I've got specific little pockets. You know, the laptop sleeve is, you know, specific to some gear. But this main pocket is kind of like a junk drawer. If I open it up from the top here, you can see that it goes pretty deep and carries a lot of stuff. There's also individual pockets within this pocket that are really, really helpful. So let's see what we can find in here. I'm just gonna scoot this guy over because it holds a lot. Number one, I've got this zipper pouch here that I could have like cables and things like that in. I also have a couple of more pockets over here where I've got a gift card in here. I've got my Apple Pencil in one of these pencil slots here. You can carry pens, some Sharpies, whatever. I think this is great because one of the last backpacks I used, actually the 2 last backpacks I used before this, I absolutely loved, but they didn't have a spot just to carry a dang pencil. And I want that. I want to have a pen, I want to have Sharpies, I want to have pencils available to me, especially my Apple Pencil. Instead of constantly keeping it attached to the iPad, I can keep it in this case as well, in one of those slots. I really, really like that. I also have a case within a case here in my Lowepro backpack, and I want to talk about this. If you are not carrying around a cable organizer, you are missing out. I'm about to get real nerdy, so stay with me. One of the easiest things to lose with all of the devices we have with us every single day is cables. Cables for charging, cables for transferring data, all sorts of little adapters. They get lost so quickly. We don't put it away properly, we put it in our pocket and it's gone forever. So I've started using this cable organizer, and it was probably like 12, 15 bucks, just clips right there, opens right up, and you see just about every cable you could ever need is found in here. I literally have I have USB-C, I have USB-A, I have Lightning connection, I have dock connection, I have Ethernet. Inside of this little pouch here, I have an extra lav. Inside of this extra pouch here, I have some GoPro connections. I have an extra cable for my in-ear monitors. I have some USB-A to different USB type cables here. I also have this little guy that I want to do a video on. This is a capture card. It's when you're live streaming or using a really nice camera into your computer to live stream, you have to have some sort of capture card like this. Everybody's going to tell you need to spend hundreds of dollars on one. This is $20. It's never failed me. It's not fancy. It doesn't do anything except capture video, but it's 20 bucks and it's never failed me. So before you spend a lot of money on a video capture card, talk to me. This guy is amazing. So I always keep that in here as well. So this little cable organizer, I don't have to, beat a dead horse here or anything. Essentially, instead of having a ton of cables just swimming around, making a mess in my bag, they are neatly stored here. Now, every once in a while, I will just get done with the cable and throw it in my backpack, but I always come back to my little cable organizer and make sure I'm using that so that my bag stays clean and it's easy to find things. What else do I have in here? Oh, I have a microfiber cloth to carry around to clean my screen when needed. I do have the dongle for my M1 MacBook Pro, USB-C, USB-A, Ethernet connection, SD card readers, HDMI, all that stuff. Now, with the new M1 MacBook Pro, I actually pull this out very, very rarely. I probably pull it out about once a week, and I don't need it as much because the new M1 MacBook Pros have HDMI connection, they have that SD card slot reader, but when I need to use USB-A, when I need to have an Ethernet connection, this is what I pull out. But I don't use it that often. Gotta have your computer charger. There's no getting around that. And yes, I have the MagSafe here. I just love that MagSafe is back on the M1 MacBook Pro. I have my GoPro with me all the time. Like I said, I do a lot of times attach it to this strap here so that I can pull it off quickly, but I always carry around a GoPro with me. I think that these are some of the most versatile cameras. If you're wanting to start vlogging or shooting video, I think it's actually great to start with a GoPro because there's not a lot of settings that you can screw up. There's not actually a lot of settings in general. Zooming is even difficult on the GoPro. And that's good because you just simply put it in front of your face or point it at whatever you want to shoot, and it's going to give you a high quality image. Now I also have this little media attachment here, this mic attachment, and I have this little mic here that I absolutely love. It's got a little dead cat on it. And it's made, I don't even remember who it's made by. It's made by, oh yeah, Saramonic, I don't know. But it's basically a microphone that's kind of like a little bit of a shotgun microphone. It bends like this. You plug it in to your camera and just point it wherever, obviously at whatever subject you're recording. But I like that it's so little and moves so easily because when I'm using my GoPro, obviously I click it in here and I'm pointing it at whatever I'm filming. But if I want to talk as I'm filming away from me, I just simply turn the mic towards me, keep talking, turn it back towards the subject. I love that. So I always carry a GoPro with me so that I'm able to shoot things quickly for vlogging, things like that. A lot of my videos happen right here at this desk in front of this camera, but having that available to me is very important. Okay, what else? Okay, well, speaking of shooting video, I have a little Joby Tripod. It can get not very tall, but a little bit tall, and it has these feet that pop out. And yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Little tripod. You know, actually I'm gonna set that up right here. This is fun. I just picked this up on Amazon. I actually saw Sarah Dici show this off in one of her videos, but it's this little digital timer here. Actually, I haven't even taken the plastic off this yet, so if you wanna join me, you can just, let me get it close to the mic. Oh, you love that. Long story short, I touch here, and it shows me a time, right? And I can just move this dial and increase the time. And then I can just push start, and it starts counting down. Now, the reasons why I keep this with me is a lot of time I'll think to myself, oh, I never have any time to shoot video. I never have any time to edit video. I never have any time to, you know, do scheduling for my family or whatever the case may be. So what I'll do is I'll say, you know what, for the next hour, I'm going to get fill in the blank done. So I'll put an hour on the clock, move it up to 60, move it up to 60 minutes, press start, set the clock down, and begin working. Now you also have the ability to use this as a stopwatch as well. If I just start here when it's on 0, start, it just begins counting up instead of counting down. And then if I pause it and then press and hold, it resets itself back to 0. So having this little timer, which also is magnetic, by the way, in my bag, I've found to be really, really helpful. I've only had it for a couple of days, and me and my family have already had a lot of fun with it. I know that sounds silly, a timer, fun, but it is. And I carry this with me every single day. A total of 2 days, the amount of days I've had it. Okay, here's a tool that I will never leave home without. That's my Leatherman. Now, my Leatherman is special. Not only is, if you didn't know, not only is it a really cool multi-tool, you know, I can just open this up, and it becomes pliers with wire cutters here. Or if I pull this out, I've got scissors. Or I've got here a little Phillips head screwdriver that I can turn into a flathead screwdriver. So I just think this is a really cool tool to have with you for any type of work you might be doing. If you're ever out there working with your hands, recording video, recording audio, if you're, you know, putting together audio racks or anything like that, having a real tool set is obviously important, but having a multi-tool like this where you can just quickly grab it and get some work done is really, really important to me. Now, this Leatherman is special, and I'll tell you why. My wife got it for me, and if you zoom in here, you'll see on the front of it, it actually has my name and my IT company's logo, and I just think that's so cool. Someone gave me a Leatherman. I fell in love with it. I never said I wanted one. They gave me one, and I was like, this is one of the best gifts I've ever received. I lost it. My wife got me this one. It's also black, which I think is cool. Most of them are just silver or chrome or whatever. And then she put my logo on it and my name, so it will never get lost again. I put it in this little pouch. I thought about having this pouch attached to one of the front little hooks here on my bag, but I just thought that might be a little bit dangerous. Someone could literally just come over and just take it right out, and it's kind of, I mean, if I didn't show you this, but it's actually a weapon as well. I use this for all of my unboxings and things like that. I would never want someone to get hurt. I also don't want it to get stolen, so I keep it in my bag in its little pouch. Now, normally, my babysitter today has my apartment key, so normally I keep my keys just attached to this little hook in my bag right here. I find that really, really helpful. But for now, I just don't have that because obviously somebody else needed my key. Now, that's the big compartment here. Again, zipper pouch here, a couple of pockets here, but this huge compartment inside this bag holds tons of stuff. Holds a hoodie, a pair of shoes, some gear, as you can see. And the gear that I had in here that I just pulled out does not fill it up. There was more room to go, which I think is great. And this is kind of like your standard backpack, right? Laptop sleeve, got some pockets for other things like pens and pencils and notebooks and what have you. The gear portion, the pro section of this backpack, is down here on the bottom. Now I'm gonna kind of scoot some of this stuff out of the way to make sure you guys can see what I'm working with. Show me what you're working with. So before I open up this big gear pouch, you'll notice there's these two pockets on the front. These are detachable, and they're kind of like, they're accessories that you can purchase from Lowepro, the manufacturer of this bag. This is just a simple zipper pouch, nothing special to it. If there's anything that I'm working with that I need to quickly throw in here before I organize it in my bag, like if I'm using my GoPro and I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, a conversation is starting, I can just throw it in here real quick, zip it up, and I'm good, instead of like organizing it perfectly in my bag. Over here, this is more of like a pull string situation. This is actually meant to be a water bottle carrier, but you know what I use it for? I hold every single little portable adapter, power adapter, I should say, and battery. So here's some GoPro batteries, the GH5, which I'm using right now, batteries are all in this little pull string pouch. So I always know that when I use a battery, I put it on a charger. But if it's charged, I always know that I can go to this little pouch and find a charged battery to use. So these little pouches are super handy because sometimes I don't have time to fully organize things in my backpack, so I can just throw them in those pouches while I'm on the go. Let's go ahead and unzip the gear portion. Now this is going to look completely different than a normal backpack. When I open this up like this, you see this little bento box of, you know, creative gear. I love this type of organization. So all of these little dividers are completely removable. I said, yeah. They're just Velcro here, so I can kind of design what I want to be down here in this gear portion. But let me show you what I've got. First of all, I always carry my drone. Now, I pull this out the least amount of any of the gear in my backpack, but I know the minute I don't carry it with me is the minute somebody's gonna be like, hey, let's get some drone footage of this. And I'm gonna be like, oh, I just took it out of my backpack. So I always keep it right here. Now, along with my drone, I have the controller. How unfortunate is it with the DJI Mini 2 that the controller is actually bigger than the device itself? I mean, it is what it is, right? I'm just saying. And then I also have the battery charger for my drone down here. So all of that stays right in the bottom of this backpack. Now this little gray pouch I just pulled out, this is my Rode Wireless Go 2 case. I love Rode products. I'm actually recording audio for this video on a Rode Wireless Go 2 with a lav. All my adapters and transmitters fit right in this little case, and it goes right into my gear pouch here. Speaking of Rode, I also have the Rode NT USB Mini here. I have its base stand that I can just at any time set up. It connects to my computer right through USB-C. If you are looking to start recording better audio for your videos and looking for a mic, don't go out and buy a Shure SM7B and then an audio interface and a cloud lifter to make sure it has enough gain to get into your software, whatever software you're using to record. You know, you're carrying 3 pieces of gear, or 2, 3, 4 pieces of gear to just use one microphone. This guy, one cable right into your computer, and it sounds great. So I always carry this with me. If I'm doing a meeting where, like, I'm on Zoom, I very rarely will speak into my computer's microphone. I always have something like this, an external audio source to capture better audio. I have the Logitech MX Master 3, right? Yeah, MX Master 3, nailed it.
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
This is a great little mouse. I hate editing using a trackpad. It's the pinching and zooming while trying to click and drag and get really precise that just, I just don't like it. So I like editing with a mouse. Now, everyday usage of my laptop, I'm always on the trackpad. But when I edit, I really like to have a mouse with me, so I keep that in my backpack. Now, I know I just said I don't like editing with a trackpad, but I do like editing with an external trackpad. I know, it's weird. This is Apple's old Magic Trackpad. It's not fancy, it doesn't have a lot of cool features, but it works well. And when I'm editing in Final Cut on my M1 MacBook Pro, I like to have my MX Master 3 by Logitech. Did I say this was by Logitech earlier? I may have forgotten that. Anyway, my Logitech MX Master 3 over to my right, my trackpad over to my left, that's how I edit. And I know that some of you are going, why does he edit that? Everybody's different. That's how I do it. So I've got an external trackpad as well. Now, this is a Panasonic GH5. This is what I shoot most of my videos with. I'm thinking of changing this in the future, but for now, this is the everyday carry camera for me. So let's set this here. And this is something that I'm really proud of that I always have with me. So audio is a big deal for me. So if you see me walking down the street, you will never see me using like standard Apple earphones. You'll always see me, actually, I put them in my pocket. Let me go grab them.
2,000 years later.
These were in my backpack this morning earlier, sorry, but these are the Jabra 75T Elite Actives. Why the long names? Always so long. Anyway, these are great, truly wireless headphones. One goes in one ear, one goes in the other ear, obviously. No cables connecting them to each other or them to the phone or the iPad or whatever I'm listening to using these guys. So super great headphones that I always have with me that I absolutely love. There are some over-ear headphones, Beats that I keep at home. Those are not in my everyday carry. But another headphone that I always carry with me are my 1964 ears. Now, as a musician, how do musicians hear themselves on stage? There's two ways to do it. One, you can have big speakers in front of you called monitors, or you can do what's called in-ear monitors. Now, this used to be some technology that was only for the uber wealthy. And I'll tell you, these aren't cheap, but in-ear monitors are getting more and more cost effective as the years go by. These were about $1,200, but I am a musician. As a matter of fact, I play once a week. I lead music at a church once a week. I play with other musicians regularly, and almost every scenario I walk into, we are using in-ears. So instead of just having, headphones that hurt after a long time or headphones that don't sound good, I invested in a good pair of in-ears. And they're called in-ears because they actually go into your ear. These are molded specifically to fit my ear. If I kind of, you put them on right now, you'll see they kind of disappear into my head because those big chambers are made to fit inside of my ear canal, and I don't have to play music through them as loud because they're so close to my ear. I can keep the volume at a moderate level. Also, inside of these headphones is 6 individual drivers for mids, lows, and highs, and these sound better than any headphone you will ever put on. They are incredible, they are comfortable because they're made to fit my ear, and I carry them with me everywhere I go. Sometimes I listen to my music with my Beats headphones or my Jabras, but when I know that I'm gonna be sitting down editing for a while and I want a comfortable but amazing sounding headphone, I go with these guys. So these are also in my everyday carry, and unless I am mistaken, I think that's my whole backpack, guys. So, bottom of my backpack, you've got the gear portion. Top of the backpack is everything else. I've never been happier with a backpack. I love this. There's gonna be a link to it in the description, as well as a link to all this gear in the description. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. I hope this was a good one for you. Please feel free to like, feel free to comment, and let me know what's in your bag, or if you have any questions about the gear I showed today. And hey, don't forget, subscribe to this channel for more fun videos coming up. I'll see you in the next one.